Welcome back. Nissan Arena, Game 3 in our 3-game coverage of the HART Sapphire Series. We're here at Nissan Arena, the home of Suncorp Super Netball for 2020, and the last of today's 3 matches. And what a cracker it is. It's the first versus third. It's the Cougars versus the Wildcats. Grand final replay. Should be a great match. My name is Dave Mills. I'm joined in commentary by a lady who's just played a game for the Jets, backed by popular demand, Lucinda Benjamin. This should be a good game.
Yeah, it should be. I'm really keen to see what the Wildcats can bring out in this game. I think we called this game just a couple of weeks ago, the last time the Wildcats and Cougars met, and it blew out a bit more than I thought it would.
Yes, you're right. Last time they were here, it was 68-48 to the Cougars. And as you can see by the table, the Jets temporarily on top of the table. Well done. How long that will last, we don't know. That depends totally on the Wildcats.
Actually,
how many quarters and games that they win in this one. And if they win them all, well, then you will remain on top. But I think Liz White and the Cougars may have something to say with that. So we've got the team list here. We start with early games today where the Bond Bull Sharks were 51. They beat the Tigers, who weren't super impressive until the last quarter. They won 51-43. Sharks' first win of the season. And then your game, the Jets, pretty much in total control for the whole match. Didn't play your best, but 61-48 victories there. So there's the team, the Cougars. We start with, now there's been a late change. Riley Holland has just been withdrawn and it is replaced by Martina Riekers. We've only just been handed that. Apparently she's pulled up sore in the warm-up. So that's slightly wrong. Mia Stower is at goal attack. Chanel Dyer is the wing attack and captain. Maddie Hinchcliffe, the centre. Ali McLeod is the WD. Bella Zorby, the GD. Remy Camo, one of my favourite players, is the GK. Martina Riekers is on the bench there. She's gone to the actual starting lineup. And that leaves Courtney Baird and Isabel Shearer also. Coached by Liz White, Darren Connelly is the assistant, and the manager is Lynn Holland. Now, for the Wildcats, Jemison Power is the GS. Beryl Friday, the GA. Lisa Maimai is the WA. Helita Veve is the centre. Chanel Gomes is the wing defence. Danielle Taylor, the GD. Nora Missa is the keeper. That leaves Rachel Fanana, Bryony Payne and Brittany Mould on the bench. They're coached by Danielle Edwards. The assistant is Alicia Adams. And Ronelle Worship is the manager. So if you look at your screens right now, you'll see the new shirts being worn by the Wildcats team, highlighting their diversity. They are a team of many cultures, and they just wanted to use this round to promote that diversity. And the shirt says it all. They see colour, they see diversity, not colour. And if you look in the background, when we go to their bench, you'll see that there's different flags there. There's the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander flag, the flags of England and a few other countries of the players that represent their team. So they're very proud of their diversity, and they just wanted to highlight that this week. So Lucy, back to the game. This should be a crackerjack game, first versus third. We're calling it as the match of the round. Last time these two teams met, we said was 68-48, and it did blow out late.
It did, yeah. I think Cougars had control of that match for the whole time. I believe Wildcats pushed out really early, and then Cougars took the lead and consistently held it. But I think Wildcats will have something to say about that this week. I don't think they'll let it blow out the way it did last time. I think they'll really want to put their foot down early and hold on to it.
So the Wildcats, they've been building slowly. They're defending premiers. They're a bit rusty in the first couple of weeks. Maybe COVID affected them, but they seem to have bounced back now.
They've also got some new combinations out there. They do have some new players coming into this lineup compared to their team last year. So they would have been fighting it, and some players also who have come back after a few years off, or at least out of Sapphire Series netball. So yeah, they would have been finding their coordination.
Excellent. I would like to respectfully acknowledge the Turrbal, the Jagera and the Yuragara peoples, the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which this event is taking place, and the elders past and present and emerging. The umpires for this match, their last one today, Rachel Thomas, Jess Lakeman and Di Fawcett is the reserve. The Wildcats are in the blue and red, and they're going from left to right of the screen, and they're the team that just turned it over there. The Cougars are in the red and black, and they're going from right to left.
So we saw some great defence there from Helita Vave straight off the Cougars centre pass. She got hands over the ball. She pulled it in. There was a bit of scrappy play down the court, but they have... might speak too soon. They have been able to convert that turnover thanks to Jemison Power under the post there.
So Jemison Power gets the first. Wildcats by 1, 14:29 to play. The clock stopped. Why has the clock stopped?
Oh, there's a ball.
Second ball on the court. Well done. Great pick up there. And the clock starts. So, and an untouched centre pass one of those coach-killing moves. And Remy Kamo will get the ball away for the Cougars. So, a lot of red out there, Lucy.
Yeah, there is. It's up at, it's a bit hard to call it if you look up, glance and see some red and throw the ball. It might be a bit of an error there, but I think these guys know each other enough that the colour of their dresses doesn't matter too much.
So another turnover here. This time it falls to the way of the Wildcats. Lisa Maimai with it now. Finds Beryl Friday.
I really think this game is going to be a battle of the defence ends. They've got two really strong defence ends on this with Bella Sorbian and Remy Kamo for the Cougars there, and Danielle Taylor and Lenora Misa in for the Wildcats. I think they're just going to be sending the ball back and forth the whole game, and it's going to be which attack end can settle into their game and convert those balls.
So 2-0 to the Wildcats early. They've had a great start. So
great shot there from Martina Rikas, gets Cougars' first goal. Nice long bomb. Good to see her settling early in this game.
So don't forget, if you want to be part of the coverage, you can. Get on the Facebook page. We're HART Sapphire Series Facebook. The yes, Lucy's fans are already calling in. The Instagram is Sapphire Series Netball. And to follow all the results, news throughout the week and the months leading up to the next matches, sapphireseries.com.au. We're on all the socials, so feel free to come in and participate. So, and
a few loose balls there down in that attacking end for the Wildcats. We've just seen Cougars take control of the game again.
So that's a great intercept there, thrown across the court. Cougars with it now. They've scored their first, looking for their second. Oof. A loose pass in. And Martina Rikas, no matter how tall she was, she could have been as tall as Charlie Bell if she wouldn't have got that one.
No, it was just the placement on that wasn't exactly right. I think it's going to take Cougars, and this one actually happened in that last game that Cougars faced up against Wildcats, that Martina Rikas did start as well, and you know, their mid-court just struggled to find her. I think they're used to the way Riley Holland plays, and need to settle in to work out the game of Rikas and deliver the ball that she wants and not the ball that Holland would want. So,
of course, Riley Holland, the usual shooting starter, is, Liz said she'd have to have a severe injury to put her on the court. She is carrying a leg injury. And that's all she would tell me, a leg injury. So it could be the thigh bone, the knee bone, who knows?
Just the whole thing, you never know.
Could be the whole leg.
She's lost it.
Might have to come off, you reckon?
Yeah, it's easy. It's easiest answer.
So Riley Rikas, we've given you a prosthetic. And more loose play here as we see the Wildcats 3-1 up. Both teams still to settle, Lucy.
Yeah, they're still that loose play, scrappy ball. It's the placement's a little bit off. Yeah. You know, maybe they didn't have a fantastic warm-up, but they're, you know, and then a missed shot there from Jamison Power, picked up by Remy Kamo as you would expect in that Cougars defensive circle. One
she normally would make 99% of the time. Dyer with it now outside the circle. Captain leading by example. And again, they find her on the edge of the circle, looks in, doesn't go to Rikas.
Wildcats are doing a really great job of pushing Stower and Rikas outside the circle. They're not letting them come together and set up anything. They're forcing them wide and forcing them to throw the ball across the circle, which gives them an opportunity to come and get a hand into it.
So, play on, says the umpire, through the Wildcats, through Maimai, working well with Friday. And just misses, overcooked that one a little bit. And Power couldn't pull in the rebound. Falls the way of the Cougars. And great transitional play here, going through that midcourt quite easily.
Yeah, and the Cougars are really patient with the ball. They generally don't force any long balls or cross-court balls. They just wait for it to open up, just like that. Maddie, you know, saw Rikas, but Danielle Taylor was on top of her and just waited for Stower to open up. But there must have been a footwork there.
Footwork or hell ball.
It was at 5 minutes of play and only 5 goals scored. So this is a very scrappy
ding-dong
game.
Battle.
Yeah.
There's an offside there. The foot went off and did it again. So missed by the umpire. And jump on board and join us in commentary. Notice the new replays we have.
Oh, there you go. That's
I know.
flash.
Picture-in-picture replays from Double Take Sports, our content provider. My EP's looking at me, laughing his guts up, thinking I'm a clown. So.
Best joke you've made all day, mate.
That's the name of the company. It's not a joke. It's Take Sports. And the ball falls to Rikas, and she scores. Staying focused. And it's 4-3 to the Wildcats. You're right, it has been a scrappy start. Don't forget, next week we're not here. It's Vicky Wilson Cup, a great competition. And we'll be back the week after that. Follow the website, sapphireseries.com.au, or our Facebook page for all the times, courts, and all that. All the news. Find out what Lucy's been up to.
Yeah.
You featured in this week's promo.
Oh, I know. I was glad they chose that photo because I'm sure there's a lot worse out there than that they have. But yeah, I'm kind of a big deal. It happens.
Kind of a big deal. You heard it here first.
We're finally seeing some really settled play from both teams. We've seen two kind of easy centre pass to goals for each team. Not that you'll ever get an easy centre pass playing against Cougars or Wildcats, but we haven't gone back and forth 3 or 4 times like we've been seeing earlier in this quarter. So I think the teams are settling into this game now.
So Jemison Power scores. Margin is 2. That has been the biggest margin we've had this game.
Ooh.
Loose pass there, picked up beautifully.
Just the touch on that. Martina Rikas did have that space out in front, and the ball was delivered almost straight into the hands of Lenora Miso, and it really didn't need to be. Great little baseline move there from Jemison Power. She's got great footwork and just great timing to pop out there exactly when she was needed.
Superb effort there. Margin 3, 7-4. Wildcats on a run. And that one goes over the baseline. Friday shaking her head. Feels like she was contacted going for the ball.
Bella Sorby plays such a hard one-on-one game that you feel like you're being played. You feel like you're being contacted the whole game. But that's just her. That's just her riding absolutely hard. And that's what you'd want to see in any defender on the court.
So Maumai hit the deck hard there as well. Hinchcliffe a bit too optimistic with the pass from half court. And that was picked off by Missa. And, brilliantly taken there, as you can see on the replay. And the ball's with Chanel Gomes now. Very settled, as you say. They're probably a bit too patient now. Yeah,
I think they need to really just inject down that court instead of looking for those lateral balls and going side to side.
So Power misses the easy one, gets her own rebound and gets the second attempt. 8-4, margin 4, biggest lead of the game, and it's owned by the Wildcats. Are you surprised by this?
No. Like, as I said, they did this last game. This is exactly what they did last game. The Cougars didn't settle early, and to be fair, it's what we did to the Cougars 2 weeks ago as well. We came out strong in that first quarter, but we couldn't hold on to it. So it'll be interesting to see whether the Wildcats can hold on to this lead.
So Martina Rikas gets one back, margin 3, 6:32 to go. And the ball...
We've seen a change in goal attack for the Wildcats there with Bryony Payne coming on. Great.
Makes an instant impact. Friday's gone straight to the physio's bench. She did cop a knock about a minute and a half ago.
Looks like she's getting the shoe taken off, so whether it's an ankle or a knee, I would assume it looks like she's getting strapped up there.
That was a great pass by Bryony Payne at pace. Little tap on.
Long shot here from Rikas.
Nothing but net.
Finishes it well.
Boom chugga. So that'll look good on instant replay. And there it is. So
she's got an absolute textbook shot, Martina. If there's any young netballers out there who want a shooting masterclass, just watch that technique from Rikas and practice that each day at your hoop.
That goal answered by Power. So you're saying don't copy yourself?
Do not do what I do.
What if you're a lefty?
Do as I say. No, because even then I have a terrible shot.
And the ball gets thrown away here. Rikas
well
chases
kept
it down.
And picked up by Hinchcliffe. Well done. Good
Great team effort there by the Cougars.
They're really caught on that one side of the court there, and I think that's, they're playing into Wildcats' defensive game plan there. If Wildcats have them all bunched up, it's much easier for them to get a hand to it and turn over the ball.
Rikas, the pass off the post to Stower. Set move, I'd reckon. Perhaps not. Bit of dead air.
Who knows, man?
So
it's watching the game, mate.
Lucy Benjamin does not think so. And the goal gets answered. So the margin's 4. We're playing a bit of what I call ping-pong netball, goal for goal at the moment, backwards and forwards. Just waiting for one team to pull some sort of brilliance out. And there it is. No, Gomes chased down by Dyer. How did she do that? And
she's got great speed off the mark, Dyer. If you're on a race to the ball, I think she's majority of plays in this competition. Chanel's going to.
So there's a shot of Beryl Friday on the physio's bench, getting that looks like her left calf, or right, just below the calf, maybe around the Achilles area, getting some treatment on it. Hopefully we'll see her back. So, and the ball now with the Cougars, a trail by 4. So there you go. Question without notice. Ava Black, Stephanie O'Brien, our Chanel Dyer. Who's the fastest?
Ooh, I'd actually be really curious to see that. I reckon over.
Just a third. Just say the mid-third.
Over a third?
Yeah, from the mid-third to the mid-third. Transverse to transverse.
Start, stop, not
start,
running, start?
No, start, stop.
I reckon Stephanie.
Yeah. We commented on that game.
Her from a standing start, her speed is explosive.
Ava Black moves all right.
Yes,
so
she does.
She's got some
she
pace,
definitely
and
does.
she's got elevation to burn as well. So
I feel like she's a bit longer, though. I feel like Steph has that bit more of that explosive speed. Yeah.
Clash of bodies here, and mind you, My and Verve are pretty toughy as well. So
yeah.
It'll be a great race. Maybe we can organise that in the off-season. Oh, unfortunately, the ball just slipped out.
Do a combine like the AFL, do a little pre-season combine.
On grand final night, all those that aren't involved.
I'll commentate it. I will not participate, I guess.
Clash of bodies. You might be in the grand final. Who knows?
Oh, exactly.
So you'll be warming up. So the ball with Hinchliffe. Turnover here can get the margin back to 2. It's the first turn of the ball in a while. And Hinchliffe finds Reekers. This is a big shot, this. Get the margin back to 2, and they do. Wildcats looking over their shoulders now. Centre pass is with the Cougars. 2:43 to play. 12-10 the score. Great pass across court to Stower.
Great centre pass there and steadied there by Reekers.
Looked like a set move, didn't it?
Yeah, that is definitely a nice little inside centre pass there. They would be doing those at training on the regular, I'd say.
So Reekers misses a shot. Somehow Stower keeps it in and flicks it back to Reekers, who makes no mistake on the second attempt. And margin just one.
Another clash of bodies. I feel like this contest between McLeod and Varve is getting pretty heated out there.
So McLeod hits the deck. Margin's 2, 13-11, 2 to play. It's been a pretty good first quarter, Lucy Benjamin. Yeah,
it's been nice. It's good to see that the teams have settled in a bit. I think it would have been a very frustrating game for both of them if it had remained as scrappy as it was in that first 5 minutes.
And again, Reekers answers the call. She's been strong. Holland, again, is late change, withdrawn, hurt herself during the warm-up, so they pulled her out.
Just that placement on that pass there, and also probably the angle of Jemison's body. She got pushed out of the way by Remy Camo, and the umpire called her on that. But I think the ball could have been put in a bit of a safer spot for her.
And Cougars, again, that Paula Stewart's pet hate, the fake to no one. And I never really noticed it until Paula pointed it out. It happens a lot in netball.
Thing is, when you got your hands over, though, you don't realise they're faking to no one. So, and I think that of all teams, the Wildcats will kind of go for a fake. They are hunters. They do like to have a go at that offline ball, so it can be really effective against them.
So Stower, with the all-round good shot, gets the margin back to 1. Minute to play. This is an important possession. Of course, remember, we play for competition points. If you win a quarter, you get 2.
Great take there. A rocket pass from Mai into Power.
Power misses, and but gets instruction on Camo. She needs this and gets it. So with 43 to play, the Wildcats by 2. The best the Cougars can hope for is probably a draw for this quarter. So at least 1 competition point here to the Wildcats, possibly 2. Stower taking her time. No whistle, play on. Again, finds Hinchcliffe. This is a big shot. 3.5 metres out. Makes no mistake. Nothing but net. Turnover required for the Cougars, or the quarter will go to the Wildcats. It's with Mai. Finds Payne. Oof. Oh, there it is. Camo. Do they have enough time? Dyer a long way from home. 13 seconds left.
Anyone needs
Hinchliffe goes long. Reekers cops on for a troubles, but no, it's called a throw-in. Ooh, controversial?
I don't like to question the umpires. I think they have a much better view on the game than we do from up here.
A very diplomatic answer as the quarter comes to an end, and the Wildcats hang on to win the quarter and 2 competition points to them. And that means they are 15, Cougars 14. Not a bad first quarter, Lucy Benjamin.
No, nice contest. And as I said, a bit of a battle of the defence ends. I think it's going to be the attack end that plays to their strengths. And doesn't get sucked into the game plan of the other team, that'll take it out. But that's, to be fair, that's any game, isn't it?
It is indeed. So a little bit scrappy early on. Both teams have settled well. Who's your best on court at the moment? Too early to call?
I think it is a bit too early to call. I think there's a lot of, both, as I said, both defensive ends are putting some really, really good pressure. There's no easy goals happening out there, which is testament to the pressure that the defenders are putting on that court. I'm liking what Remy Carmo's putting out there at the moment, but yeah, too early to pick one.
Bryony Payne came on there. She replaced Beryl Friday. Beryl copped some sort of injury. We think it's some sort of leg injury. She's there on the bench. We can see her now. She's on screen. She's back. She just said she's back.
Good, ready to party.
So I think she'll be back on shortly. So let's listen in.
We just need you to read it a little bit more when she comes out. Okay? Alrighty. Great job. So good. Yeah.
So not sure what's going on there. So coach, she'd have to be pretty happy with this, wouldn't she? She's playing the top team. They're 1 up.
They're doing, I think, but you know, they did this against them last time. I think you can't in this competition, in this game, you can't, get too. You want to be happy and confident with that win, but you need to maintain it. You've got to put your foot down, and you've got to extend that lead.
And Liz, the Wayne Bennett of netball coaching, you never know if she's happy or sad.
No, she's hard to read.
So she looks pretty. She's a little bit animated there, but I don't think she'd be upset with the team. They fought back well. They're out by 4 there at an early stage.
They are chasers.
They replaced the shooter at the 11th hour. So, and all of a sudden, they're back in it. They're back to 1.
No, and they're missing. They are missing Ruby with that ankle injury that we saw 2 weeks ago. I don't know how serious it is or how long she'll be out for, but that's a great loss to the team.
Doran, you're talking about? Yep. So don't forget, next week it is Vicky Wilson Cup, so we're not here. We're back the week after for all the news and draws. Keep an eye on the sapphireseries.com.au, or tonight, if you want to join us and have a chat to Lucy or myself, go to the HART Sapphire Series on the Facebook page, drop us a comment, as have lots of people. Go get her, my baby girl, Martina. I'm assuming that's a Martina Rika's fan.
You hope so.
So, indeed we do. So, maybe it's Martina Navarro. Is she here? There's some tennis on. So, but yeah, so your game. Let's talk about it. Probably didn't play your best, the Jets, but you got the job done.
No, we were consistent, but just had a few little lapses, and I guess played into the hands of the Thunder a few times. We probably threw balls that they wanted us to throw and let them have some easy turnovers. But that was
a big step.
Yeah. That's all right.
Play on, says the umpire, and it falls the Cougars' way, and they get the first of the second, and they've taken it off. No, it's a goal. So I thought I heard a whistle. So 15 all, 15-14 at the quarter-time score. The Cougars get the first.
Oh, great take there.
There's been a change at centre.
By Brittany Mould is now into that role, into that centre position.
So Mould comes in.
Great tip there from Bella Sorby. Just went the line of the ball and attacked it well, and it was picked up there by Hinchliffe.
So it looks like Gomes has gone to the bench. And Veve to wing defence.
Yep.
And everything else seems to be the same.
Missed shot there from the Cougars, picked up by the Wildcats, so they'll have another crack at this centre pass to convert it.
So I haven't told you this, but you've got a tough job to do at half time and three-quarter time.
What have I got to do?
You've got to read out the state 17s and 19 squad.
Oh, that's a lot of names.
That's a lot of names.
It's a lot of names.
And there's a lot of difficult pronunciations.
Yeah. God.
So, and I thought, since you probably know these players better than I.
Oh, don't.
We've got a better chance of getting it right.
All right, let's go.
So
start practicing now.
So you haven't watched the other 2 games today. It'll be very exciting as we announce the 17s and 19s. So ball is with the Cougars. Steyer kicks it out, finds Dyer beautifully. That's definitely a play they practice a lot. And it's all tied up at 16s. Sweet 16, and we've played 2 minutes in the second quarter. So Mould brings a certain, just runs straight lines, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's another really quick little player, and just.
Are we putting her in the race?
Ooh.
Probably.
On the run, on a longer run, I would say. Not over the shorter distance, but over a longer drive. I think she'd chase him down.
So gives away the contact there, unfortunately, because Hinchcliffe had gone offside. And the shot there to Rikas gives the Cougars the lead. First time of the match. 17-16. They were down by as much as 4.
And this is when you've got to be really careful with the Cougars. This is when they just get those couple of turnovers and they get a little run on that you don't realise, and suddenly they're up by 5 and you have no idea how it happened.
Kind of what happened to you last week.
It is exactly what happened to us last week. Except we did realise every goal they scored, we were kicking ourselves. And again, here we go. That's another turnover to the Cougars. They'll be patient on this transition. They'll treasure that ball. It's something they do really well.
It was 15-all not that long ago. It's now 18-16 with a chance to go to 19. Cougar centre next.
Great eyes there from Sorby to Hinchliffe down in the pocket.
There's been 2 incredible takes. Dyer did one in the last transition, and that one there by Hinchliffe. They're running back with the flight of the ball into a defender. Takes a lot of courage to do that. We talk about that a lot in AFL, following the flight of the ball.
Yeah.
Very similar here. It's just there has to be a fear factor.
And the other thing is you're doing it with someone like Lenora Misa in that goalkeeper role, and that's her bread and butter, is that little pocket hunt ball. So they're putting a lot of trust in there.
Turnover.
Picked up really well by Bella Sorby there.
Cougars playing brilliantly at present. Probably need a timeout here, the Wildcats. So it is getting away, just like you said.
It is, yeah, really quickly.
If they convert this, again, it's their centre next.
And just such good patience.
They're
not
picked off there.
Just as commentators curse, they force it in a lateral ball there, or at least on a lateral movement from Martina Rikas.
Clash of bodies there. That's Zorba.
Well taken there. Well taken there by Jemison.
On power, and the shot taken by Friday, who's back out there. So not showing any signs of that injury that made it leave the first quarter.
No, possibly it was just hadn't warmed up properly and a
bit of a stinger.
Bit of a quick sprint in those early few minutes of the game really stung her out a bit.
Was that call for the contact?
Contact or an offside? Yeah, it was a contact.
Not
there
happy.
You go. Well, generally when you run into a player, that's what a contact is. You just rarely see it called against an attacking player.
Subtle as brick.
We do.
Subtle as brick in the brick in the face there, Lucy.
I do it myself. I just somehow get away with it sometimes. Most of the time.
The Wildcats make them pay for the turnover. The margin back to 2, so the run has stopped, and that would be a Mizuno momentum shift.
Great take, great.
That had some heat on it.
Absolute thread of the needle there from Lisa Maimai into Jemison.
Like a golf ball through a hose, that one. That was brilliant. Loose hands here by Dias. It's okay. She wants teammates to move. Can't find Stower. Stower working hard outside the circle. Gets it now. Throws it away. And
God.
Rika's will die. No, she won't. And the ball is with the Wildcats. And Missa gets us going. Wildcats now starting to play better.
Yeah, I think they're one of those teams that will have lapses. Like any team will kind of drop their heads and lapse. But when they pick themselves up again, what they can do is pretty phenomenal. Except for that, I guess.
Bad
passing
pass
it
by Friday. She threw from the hip, not the arms up.
Threw from the hip to a 2-on-1.
Poor option displayed, and cost them a turnover, and cost them a tying up the game. So can't do that to the Cougars often.
No, you've got to take those opportunities when you can.
And again, another turnover. They're struggling to feed the circle at the moment, the Cougars, which is unusual.
Yeah, it is. But I think Lenora Misa and Danielle Taylor, for that matter, are doing a really good job of confusing the space around both Stower and Rikas. They're making it really hard for the Cougars feeders to see where their shooters want the ball.
So a step call there. Speaking of step calls, a lot of steps in your game.
There was.
One by yours truly.
Yeah.
Not yours, not me.
No, yes. There was.
So what's going on there? But it just seemed to be, was it just me? It seemed to be one in more than the other?
Yeah, I guess there was some that were just a bit strange. I think maybe they were.
There's no explanation given?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think they may have been not looking at when the ball was actually caught and released. But, again, there's a million things to look at on a netball court. And
Remy Kamer with the intercept finds Hinchliffe. We get used to seeing that. So, of course, the match around got quite a large viewership. It's building every week. Tell your friends about it. Lucy's with us for the rest of the season. And Simone Olatu hopefully will be joining us again. We got her into the box today. World Cup player from 2007-2011. She should be back, we hope. We're in contract negotiation. That's what we call it.
Are you paying her in falafel wraps as well?
That's why she says no. And we say, we want you. That's the negotiation. And brilliant effort there, but she's been pinged for backing into the player there, I feel, Sorby. She's not happy about it, Bella Sorby.
Well, I think Jemison actually conceded that space, and Bella just went with the body. And
well, the ball knows, and the shot missed. So, and back with Kamo. We're in a bit of a difficult phase of the match.
Placement on that ball again is just, yes, Mai came through the body, but she came through the body because she knew she could have a crack at that ball.
Every pass being contested at the moment. So the ball back with Kamo. Dyer gets us going into Hinchliffe. And look at the defence by the Cougars. The Wildcats playing tight defence at the moment. They're contesting every ball, aren't they?
They're forcing they've noticed that the Cougars have started to go a little bit lateral in their movements, and that's their opportunity to pounce. That's when they can really come through and have a crack at those offline balls. So that hard one-on-one will give them the opportunity to come off the body and come through.
So again, we're with the Cougars. They got the lead back to 3. The biggest margin's been 4. It's not going to be this time, as that ball gets thrown away and falls to Missa.
The other thing that hard one-on-one defence that Wildcats do in that defence is they push their players wide and push them down the court and force those long balls, which they just did then, which resulted in a baseline throw-in for them.
Another loose feed, another pass from the hip, not from getting the arms up. So it makes it hard to pull that in. You know that as a shooter, you want the ball coming from high, dropping into the space, don't you?
Yep. And to be fair, but they're still forcing it to players in a 2-on-1 contest. And if there's 2-on-1 somewhere, that means there's someone free. So you've really got to open that vision up and find that free option instead of forcing the ball to the person who's covered.
So Rika shoots long and gets it. Margin back to 4. It's 23-19. This is equal biggest lead of the game. We've got a timeout. I think it's been called by the Cougars. It has. Liz White calling the timeout. Probably not a bad time with 5:45 to play. Margin's slightly blown out to 4. Wildcats had a chance to tie it up twice, didn't take it. I still don't think Cougars will be incredibly happy with what they're putting out on court. I think they can play a much more consistent game than what they're doing, and then the Wildcats will obviously feel very similarly. We'll listen in and see what Liz has got to say.
Nice and strong though.
We'll be saying that. Well, at least turn as if you're going to shoot, so that the defenders retreat. And if you don't want to shoot, then you can play yourself.
I don't want to.
Right, don't let her get on that side to them. When they get blocked.
You two, remember, we still want the top of the circle jammed up. We want hands up over. Don't want them in the corners. We want to set it up so these two can get it. Right? Right. Chanel, better when you stay on the move. Not a real great problem there for you. Just got to keep moving, right? And bring it through. Yeah, let's fix that.
So you see why Liz is one of the better coaches in the league. She just worked her way around the room there, didn't she? She started at one end of the court, went all the way to the other, had a bit of advice for each one of the players and the certain areas of the court. And what I took from that is there's a coach that's in complete and utter control of the team.
Oh, she knows exactly what she wants them to do, and they know what they should be putting out on court. So it's just reminding them of that and recentering that plan.
So I think she was whispering there early on because we couldn't get much. She didn't want us listening in. So, but great effort there from our team at Double Take Sports who can get all the action, get in nice and tight, and we'll try and bring it to you. We're going to be in the change room soon, I reckon. Each week we just add a little bit more to the coverage. We'll have that camera just like the footy in the corner.
We've just got to have the creepy mirror at one end of the change room.
Oh, no, not the creepy mirror. I'm not doing the creepy mirror. This is why we love you.
We did see, so if you were listening to Liz when she was talking to her defenders in that tactical timeout, she was telling them to jam the Wildcats shooters at that top of the circle and really confuse that space. And Cougars actually did get a turnover from that, but then lost it on transition.
So seems to have been positional changes here, plenty for the Cougars. We have a new centre in. McLeod's gone to centre. It looks like Hinchliffe has gone to WD. Yep. Just a straight swap there, but looks like.
Yeah, attack end has remained the same, and we've also seen Bryony Payne come back on into goal attack for the Wildcats as well.
So Friday coming off again. Maybe that injury is a bit more serious than we thought. Great drive by Dyer. Finds Hinchliffe. Hinchliffe always seems to have a lot of time on her hands, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's very patient.
Like Binny and Hunt from the
yes,
Thunder.
yeah.
Nothing seems to faze that young lady.
No, very calm and very patient, and really assesses the play before she decides what to do.
So the margin is 4. We've got 4 to play, 24-20. Both teams still feeling their way a little bit, I feel. So, and Mould with it now, kicks it back. My looks in. Payne. She always brings a lot more energy into the circle when she comes on.
Yeah, she just has that speed, that real natural speed that she delivers to that game. That not necessarily.
There she is, but she doesn't get it.
No.
Hangs onto it.
And it's really that it's her timing, I think, that needs to settle in for that speed to be really effective.
Yeah, so she misses a long shot, probably one she shouldn't have taken, but kicks it back now with the Cougars. Hinchliffe with it.
It's one of those phenomenal things that the Cougars do in defence, is that even though you know you should pass the ball off, you know you should go for a shooter-to-shooter or a shuffle shot, they create so much pressure around that circle that you're really hesitant to do so, that you think you're forced to take that shot because you're so concerned about them getting a tip if you pass it off. Oof.
So it moves around.
Great pressure over the shot there from Lenora Misa.
Misa forces the missed shot. Rebound with Taylor. And the Cougars the Wildcats in transition.
They're being hesitant to give that ball into the circle, and
it's their first time. It was there again, and they didn't
exactly.
try it.
Yes, they're really, I think.
And they've turned it over as a result through to a double team, which you don't like, it appears.
No.
And poor old Moulds had 2 people on her.
Great pressure here. They're pushing the Cougars attackers up towards the ball.
And they're rewarded with the held ball. So they get another crack. Cougars have had 2 goes to make it 5, which would be the biggest lead of the game. Righty, Payne's piggy tail's going everywhere. So it's quite often ends up in her face.
It's a hazard, that thing. Can take an eye out.
A lethal weapon. Mould with the throw-in from the far side.
Got a comment here from Stephanie O'Brien.
Yeah, we're not reading that.
Well, I just think it's fair enough. You know, I've been a mentor to her for many years now, and she looks up to me. So just a shout out to Stephanie Bryan.
We all look up to you. You're tall. And the ball is with the Cougs. This is their 3rd attempt to get to 5, which would be a bit of a turning point. They haven't been here before in this game.
On this centre pass in itself, we've seen the ball go back and forth a number of times. Neither defence end wants to concede a goal.
So Rika steps across, was offline on the shot. Stower gets the rebound and gets cleaned up for her troubles. And there it is. Biggest lead of the game. It's taken nearly a half of netball, and we're at 5, 25-20. And seems like all your teammates have got comments to make.
Oh, look, they just love netball. What else would they be doing on their Sunday night but watching yet another game?
Indeed. As the ball falls to Dyer in the pocket, looks in, finds Rika's got shoved. Umpire missed it. It was quite a shove too. So turnover with the Wildcats. Nice transitional play here. It's probably the best passage. They've gone back now, but it was looking good.
Oh, great hands there. Hinchliffe, you know, probably has a good 10 or 15 centimetres over my there and just made her realise it quite dominantly over that pass.
Used the height beautifully. Smart move by the super coach, Liz White, to move it to WD. Contact outside the circle. Obstruction call here on Misa. And a lovely shot. You're right about that technique. Martina Rika steps in and makes no mistake. So,
great centre pass, or at least great depth on that second phase of the centre pass there from Bryony Payne. That's really what you need to see there. Unfortunately, I think Remy Carmo just got the tip on that shot and it fell short. The Cougars are in possession again.
7 seconds, 6 to go. They've got to go in now. They go to Rika's a high ball. She takes it well. No foul. She has to hurry. Takes a shot. Scores. And it counts. The umpire has not waved it away. So a last split-second goal. That's the 27th for the Cougars. They lead by 7 over the Wildcats 6. They owned the last 4 minutes.
They did.
They took a margin of 2 and made it a margin of 7.
I wouldn't say they were dominant at all through that quarter, but they put their foot down just in those last couple of minutes and really made the Wildcats pay for every error.
So the Wildcats, who led early in the first quarter by 4, the Cougars fought back. They won that quarter, which was quite an effort, and they've won it well. They've actually won it by 8. So that's a great effort while that quarter was a 13-7 quarter. So I think if my maths is correct. No,
Yes.
try 13-5.
5. Oh, geez.
13-5, a big quarter. Yep, I was right. They won it by 8. So 27-20 halftime score. Will you think the Wildcats can come back?
I think they can minimise the lead. I think they showed in that first quarter that when they step up to the Cougars, they can really put their foot down. But whether or not they can pull it in, they're going to have a lot of work to do.
Excellent. Minimise the lead from my co-commentator Lucinda Benjamin. Whether they can, whether they can't, we'll find out when we come back after these messages.
Majority of netballers aren't wearing the appropriate shoes on court. Running shoes or generic trainers don't provide the grip and support for the quick, dynamic movements needed in a game. It's time to make the swap with Mizuno.
So welcome back. It's half-time in our last game today between the Cougars and the Wildcats. HART Sapphire Series for 2020. It's been a pretty good game. Cougars, they were down early. They've had a great second quarter. They won it by 8 and they now lead by 7. Last week, a lot of people wondered where we were. Well, we weren't here, but there was action here. It was the state championships.
It was a cracker weekend.
Won the 18s and the 16s was won
Yes.
by the Bull Sharks. They won both divisions.
Yep.
And as a result, we use this as a selection process to pick our 17s and 19s team. And for those of you that didn't watch the first 2 games, we're now going to give you the 17s team. And my co-commentator Lucinda Benjamin.
Read those out now. So
Read out those 600 names.
Kayla Anderson, Mia Baker, Bailey Boyd, Kanehana Clark, Kiara Condon, Sophia Cooper, Renee Cubby, Georgia Davidson, Bailey Hotman de Villiers, Sophia Dobson, Molly Evans, Talia Evans, Talita Faifel, Hayley McGruther, Larika Malagoama, Yasmin Mile, Molly McPherson, Jaden Molo, Dakota Newson, Emma Nipares, Losa Newmata, Alicia Paul, Liliana Rennie, Elsa Sandholt, Chloe Singh, Charlize Sivia, Kirsten Lupe Taniello, Kaylin Van Grunen, Chloe Williams, and Emerson Wynyard.
That's a great effort, that, and congratulations to those athletes that have made the 2021
Oh,
17
sorry, I
squad.
missed one. Lauren Beecham.
That is the coach, Lauren Beesham.
Oh, there you go.
That's her married name, formerly known as Lauren Forbes. Used to be at the...
Oh, Loz. You know, she named her baby after me.
Excellent. We're going to listen in to Liz, and we'll talk about that when we come back.
Play good netball all the time. That means you have to have someone driving. Someone's got to drive. You can't have everybody running away. Someone's got to go. Now, there was an opportunity when this one went through the middle. Even if she goes through the middle and then the defenders pack in on her, there is space for someone else. So we just need to keep our eyes up. Yeah, make it work. So it's really up to us now to start to play good netball and deliver the ball to the players. We're getting enough turnover. We've got to be able to give it. And if we can't give it, we've got to figure out why we can't give it. Maybe we need to get a take a turn happening quicker so it's more obvious that they're still in that space and they haven't pulled back. Right? Or you get around before they get back. So let's see what
Sometimes
we
you feel that one that drives straight and straight box to left. That's what I felt like when it was
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, it's beautiful. Yes.
And let's just step around the hands, two girls.
Just make sure that we're stepping around so if someone is aware that they've stepped around, that we can deliver that ball. So I would say the
Okay, there you have it. It's quite a coaching team. The Liz White, Amanda Vanderwall
There's
coaching
a lot
team.
of experience there.
2 of the best coaches we've ever produced, and there's a fair bit of experience there. So Wildcats, their coach has been around a while, so she brings a lot to the table, but nothing like the other 2 that have won multiple championships.
They are, a very impressive partnership.
Everyone wants to be like them, so good work on reading that team out. That was excellent work, and according to me, we had... not me. According to my co-commentator, they go through a fairly vigorous selection process from here. and they will be announced as the team that goes away to national titles, hopefully, so COVID doesn't bugger it up next year. Usually it's around Easter time, so
it
looking
is,
forward to that. Same time as the men's national titles as well. We're going to Adelaide, hopefully.
I'm excited.
Again, depends, of course. Of course,
on
you're.
COVID.
Are we allowed to say that you're a part of that? You're part of the Queensland mixed team.
I am. I'm very excited to be back with the Suns.
So, yeah, it's pretty impressive. So, but we come back to. Not everyone's a fan of yours, but judging by what we're seeing on the call.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't call that a negative comment. I would call it honest.
So the Wildcats down by 7. It's going to fall to the Cougars. They're going to get us underway. The Cougars with the first centre pass trying to build on this lead of 7. They had an impressive last part of that second quarter. Hinchliff's gone back to centre. Finds Stower beautifully, and the margin is 8. So changes are plenty, is there?
We've seen Gomes come back on into wing defence and Varve move back into centre then. So we've kind of gone back to that starting 7
yep.
for the Wildcats and same for the Cougars for that matter.
Varve, just threw that one away, and it's now with the Cougars. Hinchliff finds Dyer. Dyer, the engine that runs this front end. We've had a change of producers. So that was just smooth, gentlemen. That was lovely. Smooth transition. Margin is 9, 29 to 20. We've played nearly a minute. First 2 belong to the Cougars.
It's a chance now for the Cougars to take it out to the first double-figure lead for the game if they can score off this. Oof.
Enriquez gets that opportunity, which she takes. So a 3-0 start in the first minute. That's the dream start if you're a coach.
Isn't it? Yeah. They've come out firing, and this is the champion. This is especially for the Cougars, a championship quarter. The third quarter, they really put their foot down here, and they make teams pay for any error. Something
we haven't mentioned a lot in this coverage is that this is the defending premiers, the Wildcats. They've had a change of coach and a change of some personnel.
Yes.
But still, they are the defending premiers and playing accordingly. Friday's back out there at GA.
And some of those players that, the new players that we would say they're new to this lineup, but they're very experienced players such as Chanel Gomes and Beryl Friday, who have, years of high-level experience under their belt and should by no means take away from the lineup.
So that goal is a Mizuno momentum shift moment, and they needed to break the run, and they do, but the margin's still 10. We've got 13 to play in the championship quarter. I'm a bit concerned for the Wildcats. I think the Cougars have just got the foot on the throat. It's whether they'll follow through. They
really need to start getting a few settling goals in here and hopefully then a couple of turnovers as well if they want to stay in this game.
So Powers being
a flat shot there from Powers. Oh,
that's an unusual call.
She must have thrown it into Beryl and it's bounced back out again. Possibly, maybe.
It's gone the way of the Cougars through Kamo. She gets cleaned up by Mai. She also has one of those incredibly long ponytails.
She does. Stress me out.
So, long pass there, gets thrown away. There it is, the contact. Seen now. Double take sports replay.
So opportunity for the Wildcats to get the settling goal that they did just miss earlier.
And a hand in there by Hinchliff. Surely that's obstruction. Yes, called by the umpire. She's about 2.5 centimetres away. Friday with it now, doesn't know where to throw it. Looks long, finds. Congestion aplenty.
They're just not very balanced on the edge of that circle or driving into the circle for that matter, the Wildcats.
Is that the defence causing that?
I think so. I think the Cougars are pushing them narrow. If you remember what Liz White was saying at that timeout, she was telling her defenders to jam them at the top of the circle, and it's obviously working.
That is true. Well, they've stopped the rot, for want of a better term, and the margin's now back to 9. And
a loose pass there. It is again. It's that placement, I think, and we've seen a few of those that the hold is there and the space is there, but the ball's not getting put where it needs to go.
So a touch there by Hinchliff, and the Cougars have it again, kept in by McLeod. And another one of those loose feeds you're talking about. Hustle here. Falls the Cougars' way through Stower. Good hustle.
Maybe that's, I guess, Rikas is doing a really great job and she has some great setups, but the angle of her body can be a little bit confusing to the feeders, so maybe they're not sure exactly where she would like that ball.
Do you think she turns too much? So
she might do. She gets a bit
squarer
flat
to the ball at times?
Yes.
Yep. So, good advice there from one of our better shooters, Lucy Benjamin.
That's generous.
Rikas, if she watches this back, next time she plays you. Thanks, Luce. So,
I'm just here to develop the next generation of...
Oh, great chase there.
Oh, and picked up by the Wildcats defenders there.
My with the initial chase did brilliantly, and again hits the circle.
Threads
Finds
that ball.
power. And it's max power for the Wildcats at the moment as they get the margin back to 9, single figures again. We're in that goal-for-goal situation again.
Yeah, it's
just
that
waiting for
ping-pong
one team to grab the ball by the horn, so to speak. Or the cougar by the teeth, I don't know. Wildcat by the claws. Whatever the terminology is. And there it is. No, it's throw into the...
Great
Cougs.
outside arm there from Danielle Taylor. Martina Rikas just gave it a little bit of space. She left a bit early on her hold, and Danielle Taylor took advantage of that movement.
So Stowe gets the defender in the air, and
again, great pressure from Lenora. She's just got such a phenomenal jump over the shot. As a shooter, you know that she can quite cleanly get that tip on the ball. It really makes you hesitate.
So Verveer did well, and unfortunately threw a loose pass. Gomes wasn't able to pull it in. But they get it back here again. That was Taylor, got the hand on the ball. It falls to Gomes, and they're in transition, and we've got a call. It's obstruction call. And the ball back with the Wildcats. They need this goal. This will get the margin back to 8, closest to Spain for a little bit.
Great pressure there. Again, those Cougars defenders is really jamming up that front of the circle, making it difficult for the Wildcats to get an easy ball in.
As requested by their coach. This time it falls the way of Kamo.
Oh, great hands.
Straight into power. Read that like the proverbial John Grisham.
She's got very long arms power and can be quite dangerous in defence. Got another comment here from Kyle. Apparently I'm not being witty enough, but I would argue that I probably need a wine first before I get any funnier than I am now.
That's frightening.
That it can get funnier than this.
It's just frightening all around. Rika steps in, takes a shot, margin back to 10. So Cougars, they've answered the challenge for the time being from the Wildcats. Looks like the Wildcats were having a fair run, and we've got an incorrect... Oh, was that a break? I think it was. The proverbial coach killer is the break.
Another coach killer, yeah. They're not going to be happy with that. It's those little errors. You know, they could be really sticking with Cougars in this game, and they're just giving up easy ball like that.
Ball falls to Hinchliffe. She always seems to take the right option. And
great hold. That's exactly the angle you want to see from Martina Rikas in that circle, and the eyes in just opened up that space.
The triangle offense worked to a treat there. Dyer, the mid-court bounce pass, and Rikas casually throws it into Stower.
Probably need a little bit more air on that ball.
So, don't forget, this is our last game for 3. We're not here next week. Vicky Wilson Cup is. Come on down, watch some of our young school kids play in some exciting netball. It's a very important competition that.
You will see some of our Sapphire players in that competition. I believe Martina Rikas is still at school. She'll probably be competing for St. Peter's in that competition. I think there's a couple girls on the Gold Coast who are still in school as well who'd be competing in that. So it's a
Watch out for All Hallows, because I had a bit to do with their selection.
Well, did you now? There you go.
Very confident in the All Hallows team that we've put together. 2 teams, actually, so very confident. So, coached by Hilary Collins. Not surprised if they win it. So, Hillary's the assistant to the Ruby Tigers.
Yes, she is. And
Paula
she's
Stewart.
coaching the QUT Tigers as well in the QPL.
So, doing a great job there at All Hallows. So, I'd say get your money on them, but we don't really encourage betting on school sport.
Please don't bet on school sport.
So, if you are, seek help. So, a momentum shift for Mizuno.
Some confusion around the edge of the circle as to what's being called there.
While we were talking, the margin's blown out to 12. So there's that little run that the Cougars get, and before you know it, you're down by 5, 10, 12.
They have the ability to score really quickly, and it just sneaks up on you as an opposing team. You don't realise how quickly they've managed to put those goals on you.
They're a very professional outfit, and they are the pace setters in this competition. Coming into this game, they were top of the table. Sorry, not this particular game.
Great ball there, and a great roll from Mia Stower. A little bit off balance and misses the shot. Is picked up by Wildcats, giving them the opportunity to take the lead back to 10.
So they won't go away, the Wildcats. They're the premiership side from last year.
Ooh. Just a bit of... They're just not settled on those balls around the circle. There's enough... They're hesitating on those passes, and that's both inside and outside. dupe, mostly, I would say, to the pressure put on by the Cougars.
So, a turnover here, just out of court. Camo gets us going. And clogging it nicely here through a bit of a... It's kind of a zone at the moment.
It is a bit of a zone. It's a bit of a loose zone, but, the Wildcats have such great closing speed in defence. It almost doesn't need to have too much structure to it because they could come through at any time.
Dyer, incredible pass, faked one way. Everyone thought Stower was getting it. Then she throws to a 2-on-1, which Rikas gets and scores. And we have a timeout called by the Wildcats. The margin 12, 5:07 to go in the third. Probably a good time to call it.
Definitely a good time to call it. You don't want them to drag that out any further than it needs to.
The trouble is, you call a timeout, the Cougars always seem to come out of breaks with a big quarter time or timeouts. They come out with a renewed energy.
The other thing is when you only get one timeout a half and you use that in your third quarter, you've got nothing in your final quarter if they get a big run.
It's an excellent point you make. So, and we're going to listen in to one of the coaches.
Looks like we're with the Wildcats.
We're with the Wildcats.
Work yourself in. Calm, Rachel. She is throwing that elbow. Dead strong. Yeah. When she's at sea,
I need her to breathe in the last quarter. She got that shit. We're going to be smart. She can't breathe. Let's go. Come on, let's get under 10. Yes, under 10. Come on.
5 minutes, all right? Let's play for Jen. Cats on 2, 1, 2, cats. Let's go. Go, girls.
So not a lot of, it was more a rah-rah sort of timeout, not so much tactical timeout as opposed there, but coach just giving them a breather, trying to get them to refocus and get the margin down a little bit coming into three-quarter time.
I don't think they're necessarily doing anything particularly wrong or bad, but they have lost some intensity, and the Cougars have started to just run over them, which is probably why Danielle Edwards called that, to just give them a bit of a G-up more than anything and to get them to inject themselves a little bit more in this game.
So a change in position. It looks like Fananana's come on at wing attack, and she finds Friday under the post, beautifully positioned there, and makes no mistake. So they get the first after the timeout, margin 11. Cougars have been in control for most of this third quarter, and couldn't pull it in there.
Great pressure though. It just puts doubt into the mind of your feeders when you can get hand to ball like that, even if you're not actually converting that turnover. And
Hinchcliffe threw it into Rikas. That should have been one she should have caught.
Probably should have pulled that in. She did want it. I think maybe she thought she wasn't going to pass it and so wasn't actually expecting the ball, but should have pulled it in. Much more speed and drive down that front end now for the Wildcats. Oh,
so
but those cross-court balls.
Kamo nearly had it, so did Hinchcliffe. She gets it now using her height, and it's called hell ball before then anyway.
Well, Maimai did step in, and Maimai generally does. She steps on a lot and will step into the hands hoping to get a call, and it just didn't pay off that time.
So, ball back with the Cougars. They lead by 11. Baird's come on at wing attack as well for the Cougs.
There you go.
Courtney Baird doesn't get lots of court time, but when she does, she's very effective.
No, and she's young, I believe. She's just kind of coming into the Cougars system, I guess you should call it. Is definitely a system what the Cougars have. And someone like Ali McLeod, who's been there for a long time, and Chanel Dyer, and so who have been in the club for a long time. Obviously, Cougars repay loyalty definitely.
So margin is 12. Friday with it. Passes off to Power, and unless I'm wrong, Power's played the entire match, and they've shared the GA spot between Bryony Payne and Beryl Friday.
And she's been very steady there. I think she could be a bit stronger in her holds, make it a little bit easier for that delivery of the ball, but she's been quite consistent in that shooter role.
Lovely shot there by Martina Rikas. Keeps that margin as 12. We're back to the ping pong netball we were talking about.
Yeah. Sorry, you go.
As I said, just waiting for one team to either make a mistake or do something brilliant.
Yeah. Look, I'd rather see the game goal for goal than for it to go back and forth with no goal, to be fair. It's a very frustrating game when we see things like this, like an over a third or silly little error or a floaty pass that's easily picked off.
Yeah, you don't want a turnover first, and this is the chance the Wildcats have been looking for. The coach wanted to be single digits by three-quarter time.
Just a flat pass again, that touch on the pass, you know. Sorby gives away a good couple of centimetres to Beryl Friday. If you're delivering a ball to Beryl behind her, Sorby shouldn't be able to get a finger to it.
So margin's 10. This is a chance to get the single digits like the coach requested. They've owned the timeout since they've come back.
Oh, just that again. It's that placement. They're really struggling to find their shooters.
And Kamo with the height and elevation is usually a fairly good chance to pick that off. And again, now there's an obstruction on court, so someone will have a chance for a shot. It's going to be Power.
So they've closed the gap to 9 now, which is what Danielle Edwards wanted in that break.
So since the timeout, it's 5-2 in favour of the Wildcats. So a pretty good timeout call by the coach.
Yeah. No, and it works for some teams. Some teams come out of a break really well, some teams don't. And it's obviously worked for the Wildcats.
Rikas steps in,
Great
hits the front of the ring, but Stower gets the board. And just like that, they stop the rot, and that will be a Mizuno, a momentum shift. An obstruction call here on someone from the Wildcats.
Banana there.
And
great tip.
My tips it, picks it up, and gets going.
But that transition defence from the Cougars is, really
flash
good.
of bodies again. There's been a lot of that in this game. Is that Sorby?
Sorby and Friday there, it looks like.
And they clashed earlier on, and actually Friday looked like she'd hurt a leg earlier. And there it is on replay.
Ooh.
Two players, eyes only for the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say there was no malice in that at all. They were both just going for that ball.
And we're bringing the towel out.
Fair enough. It's quite humid out there. I'm not surprised that they might be a bit ground after that one.
So, and those decals, are they slippery when they get a bit?
I don't find so, but maybe that's just because I'm not fast enough to actually experience any discomfort in my movement.
I respect your honesty on that one. The ball falls to the Cougars. 15 seconds left in the quarter, the championship quarter.
Great little pop out there from Mia Stower, looking for a settler that she just can't get. Ooh.
And the call goes against the Wildcats. They've got no time left. They won't get this away, and they don't. So the quarter comes to an end. It was a victory by 3 to the Cougars, and they now lead the match by 10, 40-30. The quarter didn't get to any great height, but the Cougars increased their lead again.
They did. They chipped away at that quarter, but I think the great success has to be, you have to mention that the Wildcats have held them to only winning that quarter by 3, when in the past Cougars have really run away in that third quarter of the game. So they've done a phenomenal job just to take that tactical timeout when they did and chip away at that lead.
So a 13-10 quarter means the score is 40-30 in favour of the Cougs. They've now gone past you guys on top of the ladder, unfortunately. You had it there for maybe 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah, thereabouts.
So you're back to second, I'm sorry to say.
We're happy with second at the moment. You know, it's what we've...
I hope you mean at the moment.
At the
you
moment,
should never be
at
happy
the
with
moment.
second. Lucinda Benjamin.
We're in finals contention. Minor premiers mean nothing in netball, mate. It's who wins the grand final.
That's exactly true. And speaking of winners and victorious and national titles, this be the 2021-19 squad that you're going to call.
I will read them out. And it's a really...
It's only 24 on that list. Simone Nalatu is the coach.
Yeah, she's not playing, unfortunately.
No, I've known Simone for 19 years, so it would be hard for her to play under-19s.
2021 under-19 squad is Riley Batcheldor, Ava Black, Chloe Bingham, Riley Burns, Lynette Childs, Rihanna Childs, Lily Covey, Ashley Irvin, Tiani Fennell, Lily Gribble, Sarah Harris, Abigail Houston, Emily Ladder, Lily McClure, Brianna Martin, Alice Malga, Alice O'Driscoll, Monique Pionti, Martina Rikas, Kiara Ratu, Olivia Roberts, Georgina Roy, Isabel Shearer, and Naomi Solomona.
So well done to those athletes, 24 of them. They too go through a rigorous selection process, and COVID depending. Hopefully they go over to a national titles in April of next year. So a lot of talent out there, a lot of talent we're seeing today is actually in that team. So that should be a pretty strong side when it eventually goes away.
In that team, or have been in that team in the past. A lot of these players have played under 17s and under 19s and are moving into that fusion squad now as well. So it is a really clear pathway for athletes in the state if they want to progress their game and you know, go further in their netball career.
So now remember last time we commentated this game, it blew out late. Became a 20-point margin, 68-48. Cougars, they're probably not going to get to 68, which was probably never going to be the case with Holland not playing. She seems to score a high volume of their goals.
She's the quick scorer, yes.
But it's sort of, you'd hope for the Wildcats' sake that this game doesn't blow out.
No. And I think that's one of their goals. And as to be fair, we heard it. We're not making that up. We heard Danielle Edwards give that goal to them in that timeout that they did call, was to get that lead under 9. So they just want to chip away at that lead. And great defensive pressure like that will result in a chip away at the lead.
So the Cougars get us underway immediately, and there's a turnover to the Wildcats. So all to do for the Wildcats if they want to win this one, and they probably want to knock off one of the big two before finals, and this is their opportunity.
So the Wildcats have kept that 7 that they had on in the third quarter into the second quarter. Chanel Dyer has come back on into wing attack for the Cougars. The rest of the players remain where they were.
As Kamo hits the deck, falls to Power, and Max Power gets it with the shot. Margin back to 9. It's doable for the Wildcats.
It is. They can, if they put their foot down in this quarter, they could definitely close that gap. Whether it's a win or not, that's yet to be seen. But they could win another quarter and get another couple of bonus points.
So don't forget sapphireseries.com.au for all the results, scores, and future draw. And of course, HART Sapphire Series on the Facebook page, and Sapphire Series Netball for the Instagram. And there in replay is an incredible slow-mo replay too. That's another new feature.
There you go.
So we are just clocking up the new features in this coverage. So, and another turnover here, margin 8.
Oh.
And unfortunately, Taylor hits the deck and doesn't have the ball with her. Rika shoots, passes off to Stower.
Takes the safe option.
And Stower makes no mistake, protecting that lead, which is back to 9. If that had been a turnover, it could have been 6, with their centre pass next.
They've really just got to convert their centre passes. And, again, you say that in any game, in any quarter, you've just got to be patient and settled in those centre passes. Don't make any silly errors like breaks or over a third.
Jemison Power, as casual as you like, great shot. Just a little flick of the wrist, as you can see there on replay. Boom shakalaka. Margin 8. They'll be hunting for a turnover.
She's settled into this season well, I think, Jemison. I think she started those first couple of games. She was maybe a little bit rusty and was struggling to find her feet in the physicality of this game, but she's come into it really, really well in these last few weeks.
Stower, nothing but net. Friday is struggling with an injury. She struggled to stop there, and so she wouldn't step. Has it now. Will she take the long shot? No, passes off. Finds Verver. Back to
great rotation and great patience there,
and they find Power. And
it's just that flat shot. She tends to hit the front of the ring.
You're talking about that settling into the things. Evidenced by tonight, she's had no time off, Jemison Power.
No.
She's played the whole game. Usually there's a bit of rotation with her.
Definitely. You usually, especially in this Wildcats attack line, you see throughout the game there's often rotation through the three shooters, but it's generally just been Beryl Friday and Bryony Payne swapping out the front.
So, and ball with the back to the Cougars. Margins 8, they're hanging on to this lead. It was 10 at three-quarter time. So the Wildcats got the first bit done. They've got it back to 8. They need this turnover here and their centre next. That'll make it 6. It'd be interesting to see how the Cougars perform late in the game under pressure, because they haven't had that much.
No, they haven't had to really chase.
And here we go.
I was going to say, as you said, the Wildcats need this turnover.
That was nice play. Good transition.
They got the ball down there really quickly and then just forced a few little hairy balls in that attack end, but they're still in possession here.
There you go. So Friday taking her time back to the baseline. She seems to be hurt. Throws a loose pass to Power. Somehow it falls back to her.
They've got the fall of the ball, actually, the Wildcats. The loose balls tend to be falling into their hands at this time, which is...
Here we go, Lucy Benjamin. The margin is now 7. And this turnover, I always say a turnover is not complete until you score off the next centre pass. So they must score this goal.
And the Wildcats are being really patient with this centre pass. They know it's important to convert this. They know it's important to look after all of their possession.
Friday with it wants to... No, goes back. Vere has it. Now to My. They need someone at the top. There she is, Vere. Friday's there. Bit of reluctance to throw it to her. This is a long shot. No one under for the rebound. And she makes no mistake.
There.
Boom shakalaka. Margin 6. Wildcats coming home with a wet sail. 10:40 to play. Closest they've been since the second quarter, Lucy Benjamin.
Yeah, they're putting their foot down now. I think they see the opportunity here to, 1, close the gap, 2, win a quarter, and 3, possibly, maybe, win the game.
Danielle Taylor with the rebound on the missed shot from Rikas. Here they come, the Wildcats. Timeout, Liz Watt, surely.
Those
a loose pass.
balls.
I reckon I could have got that one. So, from here. So that was really
that's
telegraphed, wasn't it?
Oh!
Back at you.
But Lenora Misa doesn't let them get away with it.
So they must score here. It's their turn. A touch there by My. Chases it down. It's clash of bodies. It goes the way of the Wildcats.
They're trying to force that ball. They've stopped treasuring possession of that ball like they were just for that first 5 minutes of this quarter. And this is what will get them unstuck here. I was going to say, if they lose the match here, it'd be this little passage of play from the sort of 10.5-minute mark. But you see what Cougars are doing here is this treasuring of the ball. Yes, they're not making any progress, but they're in the lead. They don't need to.
Yeah, good front runners, the Cougars. Dyer now uses that pace and brilliance. Hinchliffe throws from the hip, gets away with it through Rikas. Dyer screaming for it, goes to Stower. That was a loose pass, but Hinchliffe pulls it in well. They can't feed the circle. My and Friday probably need to help out a bit more defensively when the pass comes back. Rikas, she wants this and gets it. So a huge Mizuno momentum shift there.
We do have a Cougar, sorry. I was going to say.
It's a turnover. That was lucky.
Very lucky.
McLeod called for something. I think it's an obstruction. No contact on the ball.
Wildcats do need to look after these balls. They had a turnover there and they weren't able to convert it. They need to get their own centre passes if they want to win this quarter.
Which they do. It's now 6, 8:45 to play. A turnover here, and it's exciting times. Oh, nearly. Bit of juggling there. The circus has come to town. There it is, Taylor. She can only bat it out. Fair amount of support for the Wildcats today.
Despite the drive and the patience that the Cougars have, they are really struggling down that defence end. They're not getting any easy ball in, which they're very much used to doing.
And the ball falls to Rikas. And the shot
dribbles it in.
Hits the front of the ring, but gets the shooter's roll. Like $1 million putt in the Masters. It drops in. My with it, finds it's Friday. She swings it across. And it just seems a little bit tentative today to feed the circle.
Yeah, I think, and again, that's something that Sorby and Kano do in that Cougars defensive end is they confuse the space and they make it really difficult for the centre court to know where to actually deliver the ball. And especially if they're a little bit off balance or a little bit on the run, they don't want to risk a loose pass, as we've seen throughout this whole game.
So the margin is 6. We've been here since about the 10.5-minute mark, and it's important here that the Cougars hang on to the ball. Equally important the Wildcats get one. So McLeod with it now, looks down, finds Dyer. But
both Chanel and Halida saw that and had a go and just missed it.
So Stower. Oh!
Lovely settler goal there for the Cougars.
It went in, it popped out, but went back in. Margin 7. Wildcats have got to be perfect from here and get a bit of luck and a few turnovers. But
those
Remy
lateral
Camo,
balls are exactly what Cougars want to see.
She read that one too easily and picked it off. But the ball go back. Rikas can't handle the pass from Hinchliffe. Bit of emotion being shown by Hinchliffe. She's usually cool, calm and collective. But a bit disappointed, I don't know, in herself or the reception. And there it is, Dyer pulls this loose pass in. There couldn't hang on to the pass from Missa.
Great transition there from that turnover from the Cougars.
Misses again, so they get another chance here, the Wildcats.
Let's see if they can get it down into their goal third. They need to treasure this.
This is their centre pass too, don't forget.
It is. In the last few centre passes and turnovers, we've seen them throw those loose balls or throw those lazy balls at least. They're not direct. They're not looking after it. They're not putting the ball into space or putting the ball into a 2-on-1 contest,
Too much heat on that
we've
one.
seen.
So, Veve, it's been a hot and cold day for her. Done some brilliant things, but then just some loose passes like that. So this is the Wildcats centre, don't forget. So it's with the Cougars just on 6 to play.
Probably the third time going up and down the court.
Rika's conceal it, and she doesn't. But Stoll pulls it back in. Rika's her fourth. No, kicks it back, gets it made about 3 centimetres. And here she goes. And there it is. Margin back to 8 with 5:41. And we've had a timeout called by the Wildcats. The Wildcats have used their timeout this half.
So the umpire.
No, it's actually called by the Cougars have called it. Is that a sign of good sportsmanship there? Because I don't think...
I'm not sure. I didn't see Vave call it. So
well, the umpire definitely signalled to the Wildcats bench.
Yes.
They'd had their timeout.
They did last quarter, as we mentioned during that break.
I think the captain of the...
Having said that, I'm not surprised that Liz might want to call a timeout at this point in time in this quarter. They are looking to lose this quarter as it currently stands. So regardless of the final score, which, you know, is only 8 and 5 minutes in this game, 8 goals isn't that much. But she would want to make sure that they're putting their foot down.
You're all going wide and you're all waiting for someone else to do it, and Lisa's trying to bring it down by herself. So while we're turning it over, someone's really just got to guts it for 5 minutes and bring it down. All right? You've really pulled this back heaps. You've got to go again now. All right? There's opportunity aplenty everywhere. All righty? Put the ball in hand. There's lovely double plays in there. When you change direction and go, it's beautiful. All righty? But don't be so wide on me. And I need you to run. All righty? Okay? If you can't run, I'll put someone on again. All right? You've got to do this now. Let's go. To adversity.
6 minutes. All right, let's go. Cats on 2, 1, 2, cats.
Stern words there from Coach Danielle Edwards, pretty much calling on her team to put the effort in or come off the court. If you can't run, come off were exact words. So
there are fresh legs on that bench, ready and raring to go. So.
Looking for a increased effort for the last 5:40. Margin is 8. It's with the Cougars. So that's probably the most animated I've seen her all season. She was very direct with her instructions to her team.
I think she can see that this game is achievable for them, or at least this, you know, when we see intercepts like that from Vave and some of the gains that they've made throughout this game, the Wildcats are in this. They've just made silly errors and given loose passes. There we see that slow motion replay of Vave just coming off that line of the ball, which she's really good at. They're in this game. They're winning this quarter. That's extra bonus points for them.
And you're talking literal bonus points, not just figurative bonus points.
Yes.
So, and the margin is 7. A goal here makes it 6 with exactly 5 to play. Power steps in. She's played every minute of the game. And the margin 6, 46 to 60. Last time this blew out the other way, 68-48. So this is a much improved effort by the Wildcats. We said at the start of the game, they're on the improve.
They are.
And they're displaying it here.
And to be fair, they did this last season as well, you know, and they ended up winning the grand final last season.
And they forced a turnover here. It's exciting times. Can you get 6 and 4.5, Lucy Benjamin?
You can. I think you can. Whether they will or not, I won't put money on it, but it is an achievable goal.
So it's with Gomes now. She finds Mai had a big game. Looks in, finds Power, doesn't want to shoot from there. And Friday on the baseline, brilliant drive. She gets another one. It's 46-41, margin 5, 4:10 to play. They've got to be perfect, the Wildcats, and they've got it in them. They've
got to treasure this ball. You know, we saw them do in the first 5 minutes of this quarter. They did a really good job at that. They really looked after that ball. They drove hard onto it, and then they went away from that. They've come back into that.
Huge pot shot here for Power, and she makes no mistake. Margin 4. The crowd's on its feet. Well, I am. And 46-42, 3:45. It seems like the Cougars have hit a wall. Dyer screams for the ball, doesn't get it, finds Hinchliff, looks in. Stower, she needs a settler. Oh, they've called it back outside the circle or on the very edge of the circle. Swings across. And Stower with Rikas.
Needs
She's
to-
short on the shot, reaches over and gets her own
Somehow
rebound.
gets the rebound. That's a brilliant.
Huge effort
They
there.
needed that goal, and she knew it, and she followed that shot in really strong.
So that's a shame for the Wildcats. Shame for the viewers at home. Hinchliffe forces this one out. We've got 3:10 to play. The margin's 5. Friday with it now. She's been perfect this quarter. We suspect she's carrying some injury in the leg. And a loose pass here, but Sorby gets it. Could be all she wrote. That might be a bridge too far now for
That
the
might be
Wildcats.
Regardless, I think they'll want to hold on to the lead in this quarter.
They're winning the quarter by 5.
Which means they would have won 2 quarters this game. They won the first and the last quarter.
Yeah, so they had a good start and they finished strong. So
Yeah.
it's just that middle period they need to work with. Stower. And she gets another one. Yeah, I think it is a bit too much. 6 now, 2:29. Their centre. And remember, they'll get another 3 centres between if they were to score quickly.
Oh. The umpire thought about that one.
I think Rikas
I think she...
convinced that one.
Yeah.
Nice acting. So, are the Wildcats a premiership threat, Lucy Benjamin?
I think they are. I think you can't count any team out in this competition. I think... and again, like I said, it happened last season. You know, the top 4 in the first half of the season wasn't the top 4 at the second half of the season. And there's a lot that, especially with a shortened pre-season due to COVID, a lot of progression happens within the actual season itself. What the teams are putting out in round 1 isn't what the teams are putting out in round 10 or 11.
So Friday gets another one quickly. Margin 6, 1:44 to play. This is the lowest score the Cougars have scored all season. They're always in the 60s.
And that's testament to the Wildcats' defence end. Danielle Taylor and Lenora Mesa have made it really difficult for the Cougars to score, and that's, at the end of the day, that's what you got to do to win games. So it shows that they are capable of doing that, of slowing down some of the top teams in this competition. Nora Mesa just going the shoulder into a defender.
Oh, that was Maimai, I think, was it?
Maimai, sorry.
Yeah. So contact called on Maimai. Gomes with the obstruction. I'll probably just play around for this last minute. Get their 50th goal. Falling out of court, Rikas has a crack. Can't do it, but Stower gets an opportunity. She's pulled in some amazing rebounds today. And there's another one. 50-43. We're inside the last minute. So you'd have to say they gave them a scare, though. They got
really did.
To 5. Had a chance for 4.
At that 5-minute mark, I think that it was give or take as to who was going to take this home. You know, the Wildcats really could have... Oh, great chase there from Jemison. She knew that was a loose pass, and she backed Beryl Friday up really well on that. But again, that forcing the ball to the 2-on-1 contest, and a really quick transition for the Cougars there. Sorry.
So another one there. The margin blowing out a bit to 8, could be 9 shortly. That's a bit unfair, I feel.
It is. The Wildcats need to be careful, because if they... Oh, that's a brilliant clinch intercept there from Lenora Mesa. She knew that lead was blowing out.
Friday inside 7
She
seconds.
takes the settler, finishes
and
it
scores.
beautifully.
That's probably the last action for this game. As the hooter sounds, that's it, Beryl Friday. She had a massive last quarter.
She did. She did really well in that last quarter. I think, Danielle Anderson needed her to step up, and she did that.
So 11 to the Cougars in that quarter, but 14 for the Wildcats gives them the victory in that quarter and 2 competition points. But a margin of 51-44 sees the Cougars maintain first place on the ladder. Lucy Benjamin, thoughts on that one?
That was a good game. That was a much better game than the last time these two teams matched up. We did see a lot of errors made from both lineups. I don't think either team will walk away from that game thinking they'd played phenomenally. But no, it was a much better game, and I'm glad to see the Wildcats didn't let the Cougars run away with it.
So the Wildcats very impressive, showing their championship qualities. Best for the Cougs for you?
Best for the Cougars.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
It
was
a hard
team
one.
effort.
Yeah, it was. I would say probably Maddie Hinchliffe was really patient. She was really strong in defence. She worked that whole court, but then in attack she was quite patient and looked after the ball.
Also had a run at wing defence, which we don't often see, but she had a little run
not
there.
recently. She was traditionally very much a wing defence and has been moved out into that centre role and playing a bit more in that Cougars Div 1 side.
So, well, no one likes tradition anymore, so
no, that's
living
no
on the edge. So, best for the Wildcats?
Oh, I'd say Jemison Power was really solid in that shooter role. To play she hasn't been playing full games generally, and to come on and play a full game and to be as consistent as she was, and against someone like Remy Camo, it was very impressive.
And the impact of Riley Holland not playing probably did affect the Cougars a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Again, you could see some of that delivery in the ball that they were giving to Rikas as maybe, delivery that Holland would have liked generally, as opposed to what Rikas was holding for. But I think they still maintain that. They still maintain control of that game for the most part.
So that wraps up that coverage for today. We had 3 incredible games. We had the Bull Sharks grab their first win of the season. There it is, 51-43. Did you catch any of that? That was a great game.
Yeah, I watched that. And, the Bull Sharks were just dominant from that first quarter.
Half of the
they had impressive.
They had a 10-0 run in the second quarter. It was impressive. Jets, You guys took care of the Thunder, 61-48. Scoreline flatters you a little bit, I feel. I think the Thunder were in that a little bit more. And then the Cougars, showing why they're on top of the ladder, ground out a 51-44 win. And there's the ladder. 97 points to the Cougars. You guys at 88. Wildcats 54, the Thunder 36. That's your top 4. If we went to semis today, that would be what we'd do. But the Sharks, with their big win today, they climb in off the bottom of the ladder into 5th, forcing the Carina Leagues Club Tigers back to 6th and 24. Both teams a chance of making the 4 from that position. So that's a huge win for the Sharks and could have big implications to the Tigers season. Yeah,
definitely. I don't think, that the ladder as it is today will be what it is at the end of the season. I think we'll see some shifting as teams tend to develop throughout the next couple of rounds.
Don't forget, we're not here next week. The Vicky Wilson Cup is. We're back the week after that. We haven't got the schedule yet. It is all dependent on the Suncorp Super Netball and where they are playing. An unusual year we're having with COVID, so we can't give a draw just yet. Follow us on the sapphireseries.com.au website or the Facebook page, HART Sapphire Series. My name's Dave Mills. I've been joined in commentary by not only yourself, Lucy, but Simone Nalatu today. I thank her. I thank our sponsors, and of course that is Mizuno and HART, and today's pictures have been brought to you by Double Take Sports. Look, it's been a big day, Lucy. I'm looking forward to 2 weeks. I need a week off.
Yes.
Calm the vocals. We'll see you soon. We're back here week after next. We won't be here for the long weekend. My name's Dave Mills, signing off for now. Bye for now, and be brilliant, Brisbane.